North Korea reveals its first nuclear strike target. Ro Dong-sin, a spokesman for the Korean Labour Party, said North Korea could attack the US military base in South Korea. According to Daily Star, the new US military base located in Pyongyang, South Korea will be the top target if North Korea is forced to launch a nuclear strike. The invaders and provocates will never escape the merciless destruction of the mighty Korean army wherever they are, the article said. The US presence in Korea will be a top priority once the Korean military is forced to fire, wrote Ro Dong-sin. This is considered Pyongyang's first move after the US sent troops to Pyongyang. Not long ago, the US 8th Army headquarters stationed in Korea was moved from Ryongsan of Seoul to the new headquarters in Pyongyang of Gyeonggi Province, the article said. In another move, the US state authorities in Hawaii are about to announce plans to react in a situation attacked by ballistic missiles by North Korea. We do not want to create excessive tension for the public, but we can not wait to start the information campaign to ensure that people respond to it if this is possible, said Vern Miyagi, person in charge of the State of Emergency Management Agency in Hawaii, USA. Countermeasures include evacuation measures and slogans into the home, at home and ready to go. The Honolulu Star-Advertiser quoted Hawaii officials as saying. The campaign also includes sirens on the first working day of the month. The first siren is the alarm, the second sirens if there is an attack. Many US intelligence officials believe Pyongyang is capable of launching missiles at a distance of 6,400 kilometers. And so the North Korean Intercontinental Ballistic Missile ICBM could hit Hawaii and Alaska. Ford, a $13 billion, state-of-the-art nuclear-powered warship that he says will send a 100,000-ton message to the world and will make enemies. America's trembled. President Donald Trump announces the launch of USS Gerald R. Ford, a $13 billion, state-of-the-art nuclear-powered warship that he says will send a 100,000-ton message to the world and will make enemies. America's trembling, VOA reported. After 3 years of delays and costing billions of dollars, Trump officially handed over the first aircraft carrier of the next-generation nuclear-powered aircraft carrier to the United States Naval Base in the United States. Staying at Norfolk Naval Station in southeast Virginia. Wherever this ship goes through the horizon, our allies will be peaceful and our enemies will tremble because everyone knows that the United States is coming and America is coming in majestic grandfather. The President says the warship is a deterrent for us not to fight, but if conflict arises, it will always end in the same way. After criticizing the administration for lack of military readiness, Trump called on Congress to do its job and provided steady and predictable funding to the military. This new flagship will be the flagship of the new supercar, the first new class in 40 years and the most expensive warship ever built. USS Gerald R. Ford's shipbuilding began in 2009 and is scheduled to be completed by 2015 at a cost of $10.5 billion. The US Navy says costs are being raised and delays in shipbuilding are due to its state-of-the-art technology. The vessel will have a life of 50 years and its nuclear power plant will allow it to operate for another 20 years without refueling. The USS Ford was named after the 38th President of the United States, the lieutenant commander in the Second World War Navy. It was his daughter, Susan Ford Bales, named in 2013. The Ford-class aircraft carriers will replace the current Nimitz submarines, a class of 10 nuclear-powered warships named after World War I era Admiral Chester W. Nimitz. US massacre launch Tomahawk hit Syria, Russia prop up it. Vietnam, after the US missile strike at Al-Shayrat Air Force Base in Syria, many experts have questioned the capabilities and effectiveness of the most advanced Russian air defense systems deployed to Syria, including S-400 and S-300V4. According to a Russian report, at about 3:40 a.m. in Moscow on April 7, USS Porter and USS Ross launched 59 Tomahawk missiles at the Syrian Air Force Base in Al-Shayrat. Moscow was informed 2 hours ahead of time, although US information was only 1 hour, and Russia took every possible measure to ensure that no Russian troops at Al-Shayrat were wounded. Only 23 missiles hit the target, according to Russian news reports, and the attack was thought to be ineffective when only destroying 9 planes, destroying hangars and infrastructure, but do not cripple this airbase. Within a short time, the Syrian Air Force began to use the airbase again. However, the issue is about the effectiveness of the advanced S-400 air defense systems protecting Russian air bases at Latakia and S-300V4 at the Tartus naval base. These are modern Russian air defense systems deployed to Syria in retaliation for Turkey's shooting of Su-24MS in November 2015. The S-400 has a range of up to 400 km depending on the type of missile used by the system, while the S-300V4 uses a 9mm-82M missile that can strike targets up to 200 km away. Since strengthening Russia's air defense capability in Syria and after the establishment of the Russian-Syrian air defense system, Russian officials have always affirmed the capabilities of its equipment and declared Russia has built a network of rooms does not cover all of Syria's airspace. However, after the April 7 incident, the Western military said that the real ability of these systems seems not to be as expected. Mr. Maltsev concludes that S-400 and S-300V4 located in Latakia and Tartus have no chance to deal with US missile attacks. Furthermore, to protect the base during a similar attack in the future, Maltsev believes Al-Shairat will need 4 or 5 S-400 battalions along with a radar reconnaissance system to detect missiles. The journey, in addition to air regiments equipped with modern Su-30SM or Su-35 fighter jets. Nikolay Novikov, a technical expert, evaluated some of the technical aspects of the strike. Mr. Novikov agreed with anti-aircraft experts such as Kodarenok and Maltsev that the S-400 and S-300V4 worked effectively in the 40 km range. However, the expert also examined other details of the attack to draw lessons for the Russian military. Mr. Novikov refers to the time of the attack and concludes that two US destroyers attacked at the same time. Meanwhile, according to the minutes of the Russian Ministry of Defense, the attack occurred again at 3:40 and 3:56 a.m. According to the report, about 30 pairs of Tomahawk missiles were launched simultaneously. The firing range from the first pair to the last pair is 7 minutes apart, totaling 14 minutes. Launched from southern Crete, the Mediterranean, 1,100 km off the Syrian coast, the Russian air defense system was unable to detect the attack. Novikov also emphasized that the US has used the Au-18G Growler to conduct electronic warfare, and suggested that these cruise missiles might have flown over the Syrian coast near Tartus, allowing it to follow. Team. This would help the Russian military learn lessons in the anti-access zone in Syria and could later apply in any war. The American cruise missile attack at Al-Shairat base did not touch Russia's air defense system. Western military boasted that US planners had understood the characteristics of these systems and acted with great care to neutralize them. The attack was conducted at a distance enough off the coast of Syria and far enough away from the Tartus naval base to avoid the response of Russian air defense equipment, or even fly over Lebanon before flying into Syria, and are backed by electronic warfare capabilities. In fact, Russia's air defense network cannot cover all of Syria, and the United States, in a very wise way, took advantage of the range limits and the ability of these systems to carry out missile attacks. Creating a no-fly zone in Syria would certainly be a costly and very dangerous undertaking to Russia. The S-300, S-400 Russian missile systems were not designed to withstand Tomahawk subsonic missiles. Colonel Mikhail Kodarenok, an air defense expert, said that the Al-Shairat air base was 200 km from Latakia, so it was outside the S-400. Known to attack a target at this range, the target must fly at an altitude of 8 to 9 km. If flying lower, the S-400's radar could not see missiles due to the curvature of the Earth's surface. Similarly, the S-300V4 system in Tartus has a range of about 100 km with the target of flying at a height of 6 to 7 km. Retired Air Force Igor Maltsev, the former Air Force Chief of Staff, flew Tomahawk at a height of 50-60 m, while the effective range of the S-300V4 was in the range of 24 to 26 km.